approve this message. Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Andrew.
That's it. Andrew.
I'm Barbara.
And
Hello.
I'm Gus. The little hands again. In addition to Barbara's little hands, we actually have a special guest joining us today. We got Yssa. Where's Yssa? Where's she gonna fit?
Yay!
A special gift.
It's a special.
Yes,
I'm not.
I've been
I'm
having
not
trouble.
Burnie. Sorry.
No, you're not.
Since it went through a couple of different names, if only because fun fact, there's a company who also owns the original title or the trademark for it, so we had to come up with a new name. And one of the things Josh mentioned was, if we commit to recorded by RSL, we have to commit to people saying the name wrong. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
I can get behind that.
As a person who's worked on Ruby, I'm sure you're used to it.
I know so many people.
What's Rowubby?
Rowubby. I know so many people who pronounce it RWBY. And I'm like, yep, it's fine. It's totally okay. Just remember, everyone, Azriel is a demon. And RSL, yes. So
He's also a demon.
it's also, yes.
I know all too well.
Your cold stare into the lens unnerves me. I want Issa's box next week. Can I get that? Can I be just like
King Gus?
I mean,
Yeah,
you already
like-
host separate from like participants in the credits or whatever. What are we as cast? But you're the host.
I don't even know. Yeah, sure. That's me.
It's like host and then like featuring blah 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 blah. I think in the credits.
Yeah.
I didn't write
featuring
them. I
Gus.
didn't come up with them.
And then like numerous like executive producer credits for people who are like people who've never existed.
Yep.
Set design credits for a set we haven't sat on in 3 months.
There's still pictures of it in the
True.
credits.
It's in the intro, and if you're
It
in the
still
intro,
exists.
you're set. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And we're gonna eventually use it again.
Are we?
Maybe.
Too
You
late.
show a symptom of rabies, you are done for.
Yeah,
It's like the closest thing to a zombie thing.
Yeah.
Zombie condition.
and those like rabies, like the rabies vaccines, like if you suspected of getting bit by something that has rabies, the like series of shots you have to get are no joke whatsoever. It's like 12 shots and they're like fucking enormous. My sister had to have a round of rabies shots because she at summer camp, she stayed in this cabin that like when they turned the lights off at night, they would hear things flying around the cabin, like inside. And then of course they discovered that there were bats living in the roof of this cabin, which like later, and a girl found one in her shoe, a bat in her
What?
shoe.
Wow.
And so like they had to play it safe and get like all 12 girls that were staying in this cabin a round of like rabies vaccinations just to be sure. And like I think because it was like a cabin of 12 girls, they used all the rabies rounds vaccines in the state of Texas
my God.
to make sure this like cabin of girls was covered. Then later, like after that summer, they demolished the cabin, and living in the roof of this like summer camp cabin were like 50,000 bats.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge colony like living inside this in the roof of this cabin. It was absolutely nuts.
That is nightmare.
Yeah,
I like how
I was trying to, right before you started talking about bees, I was trying to get my own fish tank up here, but I guess it wasn't working very well with my camera. So instead, I'm just going to show this. It's Baby Yoda.
Why not?
It's on the
That property looks
internet, it's
intellectual, my friend.
I forgot that most of you weren't. I think Gus and Eric were the only other people here on that podcast where I wasn't allowed to show Baby Yoda, and I tried everything I could do to show Baby Yoda on screen. And now it made it happen.
And now you're just showing Baby Yoda.
his guard is down. He's weak.
All right, go away.
Let's watch an episode of The Mandalorian.
Turn the volume up. I haven't seen this one.
We're getting flagged.
Mandalorian!
Oh man, that was in crystal clear, brilliant 4K
I know,
HD.
that was
That was nice,
really
wasn't it?
nice.
What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this?
Watching like entertainment.
No, we can't show that stuff on our show.
But it's our show.
Just get AT&T
No.
to buy it.
All we have to do is make commentary about it, right? Then it's like, then
No,
fine. It's fair use.
I don't think that's how that works.
I'm gonna draw Mickey Mouse. Hold on one second.
No, don't draw gross.
Guys, should we all just to move past it? Should we all sing a very popular pop
This is
song
ridiculous.
together?
This is the worst. Bring Yssa. Where's Yssa? Bring back Yssa.
She was too nice. It brought out it brought out the evil in us. The temperament of our hive has turned.
I'm gonna draw Mickey Mouse to the tune of "Hey Jude." So get ready for.
So what can we show, Eric?
We can show ourselves. That's what we do
Our
all the time.
faces.
603 episodes.
Our own stuff, like the cartoon we showed a little bit ago. I don't know if you're paying attention to that. That was a whole thing that we did at the beginning of the show. We could show that stuff, but we can't show the stuff that the mouse owns. That's not. We don't own that.
The mouse.
You can say Disney.
Don't. They're gonna hear you. It's gonna be a Beetlejuice situation.
No, just for every time we say Disney, we have to say HBO 2 more times. HBO Max.
Something that happens in Animal Crossing is if a villager is moving out, you get a new one, and it's potential that you might get a villager from someone else's island.
Mm-hmm.
And I wake up and they're like, "Oh, you have a villager's moved in today. Her name's Renee." And I was like, "Oh, great! I can't wait to see who it is." I walk in and it's the ugliest motherfucking villager I've ever seen. It's like this weird rhino thing with like a mullet and like it's so weird looking. And I go up to introduce myself and it's from fucking Gavin's island. So I got Gavin's crappy old villager.
It looks like a pink rhino in a schoolgirl's outfit.
Yeah, she showed up, and I was just like, "Ooh." So when
that
she
won't focus very well. It won't
when she eventually threatened to leave, I was like, "On your bike, then. See you later." She showed up at your island.
Yeah, I don't know if that's easier to say, but yeah, it's like, oh, my name's Renee, just from Jebpiece, which is the name of Gavin's island. And I was like, Jebpiece, motherfucker.
How dare you palm off this ugly villager on me?
I was scrolling through Reddit, and there's Reddit ads, and normally none of them. I'm not interested in any of them. But there was one I was like, oh, that seems interesting. I want to click on that. I'm going to click on this ad because I want to learn about this product, and I'll support this website that I use all the time. So I click on the ad to learn more about this product, and the link doesn't work. It just takes me to a Safari, or was it Safari? Whatever, your browser cannot find the server. I was like,
boo.
Great. Like it has one job. It shows me ads. I finally click on one, and
the one time you fall for the advertising.
I didn't fall for it. I was like, I read it. I was like, that's something I want to learn more about. I would like to see what this is.
I picture whatever, in the factory where that ad was produced, is just some guy just oh, we got one. Hold on, somebody clicked. Hold on. Oh, fuck.
Didn't get him in time.
I didn't get him in time.
Fishing.
Yeah, exactly. Just they're sleeping with a feather going up and down toward their mouth. It's oh my god, somebody actually clicked. Son of a bitch. Oh, quick.
Turn the website on.
Turn the website on. What? Oh.
The screensaver was on. No.
Just fish.
I think this was right after they had re-mandated masks in Austin. I think it was the day after that. And I saw someone trying to walk into the store, with no mask and with no shirt. I was like, what? And then the security stopped him at the door and was like, you need to have a mask on. And the guy put a mask on, and he's like, and you need a shirt too. And the guy's like, oh. He turns around and goes back into the parking lot, and I guess comes back in a couple minutes later wearing a shirt. It's like, why didn't you have the shirt on in the first place to begin with? I just don't get it.
When are you ever in a situation where it's that inconvenient to wear a shirt? Just
granted, this guy was built. He had some serious muscles going on. So
really?
more power to him. But he looked.
Although I guess I say that, and we know Blaine, who will take off his shirt at any excuse he gets. So never mind.
I don't blame him.
What's a good way for me to convince Burnie to give me his Tesla now that he's moving to a different country?
Just tell him it's a tax write-off. He sent me a message earlier on a third-party messaging app.
And it just said, bitch.
he sent me a message on like this other app, and I was like, "Is that really him?"
Maybe he's
Like,
doing it
vet him.
to prep to be international.
I think that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. But surely he won't be taking his Tesla, right? Right?
Just take it.
I'll watch it for him.
Tell him that's what you'll make sure it's okay while he's gone. You'll
I'll
walk
cat
it.
sit.
You'll feed it.
I mean, where are you going to be driving to, really, though, in the next year?
Well, if I had a Tesla, everywhere.
I've got bad news for you, Barbara. I'm reading here in chat. Dale the Champion says, I think Burnie's Tesla actually goes to Eric now.
That's right.
No.
That's right. He's the new
'Cause
Burnie.
he's the new Burnie?
He did call
Yeah.
dibs on the new Burnie.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let you live in your little fantasy world where you got my car, but you're welcome to sit in it if you like.
Somehow I feel like the person Burnie would least want to have as Tesla would be Eric Badour.
No, he loves Eric now.
No, me and Burnie were friends.
You're the same person now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's fine. I'll live in his house and I'll drive his car. It'll be fine.
No, we should start like an office pool where we try to figure out what day will we be working back in the studio again.
I reckon this is the time vaccine, maybe April 1st.
2021.
Optimistic.
No, of 20. What, like 2022? Yeah, 2021. 2021,
So
April 1st.
just in time for our 18th anniversary.
Yeah.
We're talking like fully back in studio, right? Not like one production going into film, something
Correct.
somewhere.
Like every day, we're all getting up and going into our office.
I'm gonna push it later. I'm gonna say August 2021 is when we'll be in full. I'm gonna say over a year from now. Just thinking about the graphs, looking at those damn graphs, folks.
So you're potentially saying that beyond the next RTX date.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I'm Hail Marrying it. I'm throwing it way out there. I hope to God, geez Louise, hope to God it doesn't take that long. But
I mean,
again, speaking of said idiots before, yeah.
Well, they did immediately put like 18 months timeline on the vaccination, so that's not
making-
absurd. Did you two guess the dates, Barbara and Gus?
I did not put in a guess. I'm going to guess May 5th, 2021.
Interesting.
I'm going to guess March 24th because that is exactly 1 year from the last day that we spent at the office.
I think my last
Even
day
though I
was the
think it'll be longer.
23rd when we did that podcast.
Wasn't that on the 24th?
It was the 23rd.
Okay, so maybe it's the 23rd. So March 23rd is what I'm going to say.
That was the last time I saw you in person.
Yep. And it's never thought I'd say I miss you.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be so weird if we can ever go back to work. It's gonna be so weird.
So, are we going to talk about the topic of the day?
Armadillos?
Armadillos.
Wait, what? All right, well, I'm going to have to
want to talk about this.
crack a beer for that one. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I came in to the thing and y'all were talking about armadillos and whether or not we would talk about them, and I said, yeah, let's talk about them, right? I don't know what was there to talk about.
Well, I had a moment earlier with Eric where he sent me the link to this, where we joined to do the podcast and we could see each other's faces. Mm-hmm. And the conversation before that was just stacks of other links. So I was like, man, this is all we talk about, Eric. And it's just like links to vMix. So he was like throwing out suggestions of the other things that we could talk about. So we
Between
started talking
YouTube.
about,
Between you and
between
Eric,
us
yeah.
two. So we started talking about armadillos. And then I said, maybe we should just stick to the links. And then that was it. We just ended it right there. But I haven't seen a living armadillo yet.
You haven't?
No.
Ever.
Maybe in a zoo, but never just like out and about. I've
I
seen
don't
like
think they have armadillos at zoos.
Of course they do. Every animal's in a zoo. What do you mean?
Do they? I'm going to
That's
Google
not.
this.
I don't think every animal is in a zoo because then that'd be like hundreds and thousands of animals.
Like,
Well,
they
have
don't
different
have
zoos with
friggin'
different
like
animals.
they don't have hamsters at zoos.
Why not?
yeah,
Of course they
exactly.
do. There's a hamster in a
Well, what
zoo
about?
somewhere.
They should have armadillos in British zoos.
Well, that was the thing. Like, I went to a German zoo once with Meg, and she was like, "Oh my god, a bunch of raccoons have got into this enclosure." And I was like, "No, there's just no raccoons here. That's the thing. That we're looking at raccoons."
So according to Google, I just Googled, are there armadillos in zoos? And this is what it says. Most armadillos in zoos live longer, which doesn't, again, answer my question. So I guess, yes, there are. However, the pink fairy armadillo rarely lives more than a few years in zoos, so little is known about this species. There are 20 species of armadillos, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Oh,
Wow.
God. Yeah.
I want to
Apparently
learn
they-
about the
The
pink
chat says
fairy.
they carry leprosy.
They do.
Really?
What?
An armadillo is just walking around with like a biblical disease.
Well, it's like koalas carrying chlamydia.
Yeah, but chlamydia is still about, isn't it? We still deal with that.
You have it. Yeah. No.
Well, I guess no one ever gave the antibiotics to the armadillos. I don't know.
We should though.
Yeah, we should.
Did you guys know that there are parrots in Austin?
Like wild
parrots.
parrots?
Yeah, wild parrots.
No.
Jessica, we're supposed to be talking about armadillos, not parrots.
All right, my bad. My bad. Get back to it.
Sorry. No, wait. Tell me about. I did not know there were parrots.
I'd rather talk about armadillos anyway, because those are a lot cooler. No, there really are. I just looked it up the other day. Hold on. So keep talking about armadillos, and I'll bring up the article.
I think you can
bring up the
shoot.
article.
I think you can shoot an armadillo with a gun, and it'll bounce the bullet back.
Don't
Is
shoot
that-
I'm not saying to do
armadillos.
that. I'm not
Did
telling
the
you to do
people
that.
who came up with that also come up with like you can pull an earthworm in half and it becomes two worms? Is that the same guy?
I actually heard that as a kid. If you like step on or like crush a worm and it splits in two, it becomes two worms.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that not true?
No, but there. But
I literally grew up believing that.
Well, because I think on one end is the mouth and it just like, just pulls mud through itself. But on the other end is just an anus. I don't think it can work backwards.
But to the important topic, Texas man hospitalized after bullet bounces off armadillo. This was in 2015.
There's a lot of people in the chat saying if you shoot an armadillo, you'll kill it. So don't do it.
Well, I'm not saying to shoot either way. It's bad. Either it's going to bounce. A Texas man, either you're going to get shot by yourself because it bounced it back, or you're going to kill an armadillo. So just don't shoot armadillos.
If you have a craving
Yeah.
to shoot an armadillo, maybe reconsider the fact that you own a gun. Maybe
Yeah.
get some help with that.
But
Yeah.
especially don't shoot armadillos.
Or
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
Really.
The way to kill an armadillo, you get a machete, right? I wouldn't even know where to start. If I had to kill one, I would.
I don't know how you catch one. I
I
think
don't
they're
know
pretty
how
fast.
I'd catch one either.
So I had a friend who was getting stalked by a deer. And I'm not like I say stalked as in. So what had happened is they had been out walking their dog, and their dog had attacked a fawn, like a little baby deer, and like tried to fight it. And so then, that incident happened. Ever since then, the mama deer would attack her and her dog anytime they saw them.
Oh God.
And I mean like
Wow.
attack as in like charge, like going to beat her up.
Sorry, Chris, I wasn't paying attention when you actually imitated what it sounded like. Could you do
It's
it
like,
again?
well, I mean, I wasn't there. So, but this was like, it
Oh, I
sounds.
wasn't looking. Could you do
No,
it again?
It sounds very funny, but like the way they described it was like it was terrifying, as in this person would send me pictures of this deer. It's like it's waiting behind the building for me. I see it, just send me a picture of like up on their balcony, and they'd be like, it's watching me, like, and it'd just be a deer like mean mugging her and be like giving her.
So what'd she do?
Well, she tried to avoid the deer. She'd walk the dog different places, but it would chase. It would find her. So then,
It sounds like a horror story.
yeah, and then she ended up calling like animal control, and they were like,
Oh my
well,
God.
they were like, well, it's a deer and it's habitat. This is where it lives. We can't really do anything. We're only like, really our specialty is like animals that shouldn't be here,
So that's an animal that should be there.
Like, yeah, because it's like kind of out towards like 360 and stuff,
Yeah, I guess they tend to roam around neighborhoods a little more there, right?
Yeah. And then
Texas.
and the reason I got into this whole thing, I became part of the deer problem, was because my dad is like he deals with deers. He's like a deer specialist.
he has the deer podcast, right?
Yeah, he's got the deer podcast. He's literally the guy who wrote the book on deers. Like I've got a deer book.
There is one book about deers, and he wrote it.
Well, I mean, he's written multiple books about deers. So he like.
That is the most Chris dad thing I've ever heard.
It really is.
like
It's fantastic.
A deer book. You know, so it's like I'm not kidding. Like
it's so great.
so.
Wait, no, it looks like he wrote that with someone else.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's a co-writer.
Well, he's also written another book, so that's like a full one.
Okay, he's got 2 books, half written.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like asking my dad, like, well, what can, and he was like, well, it's in a neighborhood. So he's like, he was going to suggest like, you know, some sort of pepper spray or something. But it's like, but it could run into a street and endanger itself. And then he suggested an air horn or something to scare it. But then she was like, already tried that. And then it kept escalating because she was out walking and she had to like run into the street to get away from it and like wave down a car like she was being attacked and like, I need help, and then like jumped into someone random's car because the deer was waiting on the other side of the street and had to drive her to.
Oh my god, this is like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so it kept happening. She had to wave down 2 cars 2 different times. So she called 311, like the police, and was like, what do I do? This deer's trapped me. And then
For those
sounds
of you
like
who don't know,
more of a 911 situation than a 311.
well,
yeah, 311 is a non-emergency line
that's
for
an
those of you who
emergency.
don't know.
Well, I
he
think she
didn't
didn't
just
want-
say 911 wrong.
well, no. Well, she said, I think because I don't think she wanted to be like, oh, there's like people who are getting like, you know, like someone might. I don't know. She called 311. Maybe the deer wasn't chasing her at this time. I don't know if she was like, the deer's all like running, actively calling 911, or she could have been from a hiding spot. I don't know. An officer showed up and they're like, well, I'll just, you know, avoid the deer. She's, I'm trying. And he's like, well, stop provoking it. She's like, I'm not doing anything to provoke it. It's chasing me. And the officer's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, because again, deers aren't really their specialty.
Eric Badour pointed this out in our chat, but you keep saying deers. You know, deer is the plural of deer, right?
Well, what's deers? Deers?
I mean, you should know. Your dad wrote the book.
But I
He wrote the
didn't.
book on deers.
Oh my god.
What do you mean,
I've heard
deer?
deers.
Deers as well.
This is
What's
just
the
fantastic.
what's the singular form of deer?
Deer on.
Deer.
No, it's just deer.
It's like moose.
No, it isn't. What is it? It's a doe. It's a doe.
No, that's a female deer.
Well,
Is it a female deer?
Yeah. It
So
was a
it's a
female
doe.
deer because it had a fawn. Anyway, so this doe is chasing her, and she calls like the parks, the parks department. And no one will take care of the doe problem. So then one time she got trapped and called me, and I was like, well, okay, I'll whatever. I show up and I'm like, escort to the to her apartment, and I'm like, go get me a broom. And so I go and she comes out with a broom. I'm like, okay. I take the broom part off, so it's just a stick. And I'm like, let's go confront the deer, because it can't keep
work.
it can't keep terrorizing her. Like she has to confront it.
This must stop.
Yeah. Well, that's
Can't go on.
It had been going on for weeks, and she'd called everyone and I was like, I don't want to get called every time that she gets trapped. Like, I can't deal with this doe. So I was like, let's go find it. And then, but she was afraid. I was like, no, we have to go. Where's the deer? Where does it frequent? She's like, back there. I'm like,
where's the deer doe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the doe frequent?
That's good.
Where's it at,
There's
doe?
multiple deers. There's multiple deers in the area, but there's one doe that's stalking her. And so I'm like, we have to go there. And she starts sobbing because she's afraid.
Aww.
And I'm like, come on, we have we have to confront it. And I'm like pulling on the leash with the dog, like, come on. And she's like, she's like hiding around the corner. Like, no, it won't know to stay away. I'm not gonna do anything to the doe, but I just want to be like, hey, leave us alone. You know, like.
You keep using doe for like singular deer though. Like I know it was a doe, but you're just.
I think because he doesn't want to have to confuse himself with deers or deer.
Yeah, I'm just the doe.
So you had a dog,
Chris,
or you had a bitch.
No.
It just doesn't sound like any fawn at all.
No. Well, yeah, because the dog got the fawn.
Did anybody? Are you done with the story, or is it still going?
Well, what ended up happening was we confronted.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hey, all right. Well, let's tell me more about parrots, Jessica.
No, keep going.
The only reason I just asked because I was like, man, I should have been timing this from the beginning.
Well, that's this amazing thing.
I need to know how this confrontation went, though. I need to know if the problem with this doe
Well,
is done.
So we found a deer in the distance, and so I was like confronting it. I was like, "Hey, deer!" like trying to scare it so that it wouldn't charge, but also like waving the broomstick. And then it ran away, and then it came back, and I thought it was going to charge at me, but then I was like, no, it's keeping its distance. So I yelled at it again, and then because my friend was in the distance as I came back, it's like, see, it's more afraid. She's like, well, that wasn't the right doe, so it wasn't the right deer, but I think I still made so it's still out there.
You think word is spread from that one to the one still?
Well, the thing is, none of the other deer would chase.
You corrected yourself to the wrong.
None of the other deers would chase. It was just that one. So it's an unsolved case.
Well, why don't you just implore your dad to come and just blast it if it's that much of an issue?
Well, I don't think anyone wants the deer to die.
No, of course not. It just should be in a place that it isn't threatening people's safety.
Well, and from what they had researched is that it was female deers when they have babies are particularly aggressive and have a lot of like testosterone, you know, or not testosterone, whatever, anger deer. They have anger issues, and so
testosterone.
Yeah. And so it's probably like one of those things where it'll stop chasing once the fawn gets older.
I remember when Eric came to set, I was one of the producers on Mini Golf, and me and Ezra had like gone over all these rules and regulations on how the game would go. And Eric's like, I'm just kicking the ball. I'm like, well, he should probably use his putt. And then Eric's like, no, I'm kicking it. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what's up. And he kicks it the entire way. And it was one of my favorite things. Him just walking up and just kick.
It was a good bit.
Let me tell the other side of that story, because it was me going, hey, I want to kick the ball. And then it was half an hour and a half dozen producers coming up to me going, well, you're going to have to take a stroke penalty. And me going, I don't care. I'm not winning anything.
Eric showed up for the day. Like, he was not intending to come back at
I know.
So I just kept going, okay, well, I'm just going to kick it. And then they would run away. And then they would come back and go, okay, so if you kick it, you have to make sure, is there any way we can use the putter on your foot? I don't care. Sure, whatever. And then it just went around for half an hour until it just landed on, okay, yeah, you can kick the ball. It's fine.
Well, wait, we aren't actually playing a real game of golf.
Yeah.
Wait, well, now taking my pants off doesn't sound so crazy.
It was amazing. Honestly, the whole shoot was so different than what I thought it'd be. I thought it would be less serious because there was actually like the rules in place. I felt like maybe if someone did a shit shot, they might be able to just like do their bit again for like entertainment's sake. Like it might be funnier if the ball goes in. No, it was just like if you didn't get it in, that's it. You move on. That was how many strokes you had. Move on. I was like, damn. So I was like really happy when I was actually hitting good shots off myself because. Yeah. There wasn't any time to like redo it. It was like that is the only shot I took off my back in that hole, and that's what happened. So I was like, man, this is
nice. Or else we would have been there all day, because if you guys are just gonna fuck around on each hole, we would have been there all day. You would have never gotten it in. So that's why it's just like we gave you a limit of 7.
Or if you're just really shit at golf like me, you just take long unintentionally.
Adam, someone new. We haven't talked to him repeatedly over the last 4 months, so we have an hour and a half to get on all the many things, all the different places you've gone, all the different things you've done. I'm sure all the varied life you've lived, the varied life activities you've lived through over the past 4 months.
Yeah, lots of adventure, lots of outdoor activities. Just out there bare chested, having a good time, living it up, Gus.
Some people were complaining to me that all we do on this podcast anymore is bitch about coronavirus and politics. Listen, I don't know if you noticed this, but normally what we do on this podcast is we talk about what's going on in our lives. We've been trapped in our houses for 4 months. All there is to talk about is fucking coronavirus and politics. I'll talk about some shit I watched here in just a minute, but 90% of what's going on is that. So,
Well,
I mean,
to be fair,
sorry that the world exists.
we make a lot of other content that doesn't touch on coronavirus and politics.
Well, those aren't podcasts about current events.
Yeah, but we can get away with talking about other shit. Video games is good. We don't have to talk about.
And I think we will. I think Gus, I'm probably reading the same comments you are, and at some extent, I do feel bad that we talk about it a lot, and it's probably a downer for a lot of people. But yes, it is what's going on in our lives right now and what's going on in the world. But I think we could, as Gavin is saying, make an effort to talk about some other stuff.
I went to the Samsung factory where they have like a museum of all their stuff. This was in Seoul.
Oh wow, that's
South
really
Korea,
cool.
and they were like showing they were showing me specific stuff in the testing phase where they're like dropping phones and like baking them and stuff, and they had an area where they had phantom cameras and they were like seeing slow-mo stuff, so that's why they were showing it to me. But they also had like a fake arse, like wearing jeans, where they would put the phone in the pocket and and like on a pneumatic pole would like sit this arse down over and over again on the phone.
What the hell?
And they would do like 100,000 cycles just to see if it would bend over time. And I was like, that is the most the funniest visual.
I kind of love that.
I know.
It
What
was
do you
great.
think that guy's job title is?
Ass man.
Nice.
I'm an ass man.
I just like that. It's like, what did you do? How was work today, honey? Making all the asses. And he's like, someone has to
Put
do
another
it.
arse on a pole. Yeah,
What did you sit down on today? A couch?
Do you think they
Chair?
custom made it, or is it like something they had to buy from like a sex shop?
I don't know. It was wearing jeans. But yeah, I mean, you could put jeans on anything, right? Anything off the shelf.
If that's not the title of this podcast, I don't know what is. You could put jeans on anything. I'll put jeans on your cat. How do you guys
That's why you dress
say
them up. It's
that word that of the thing that you open that covers you in the rain? What would you say for that? How would you pronounce that?
Now you got me thinking about it because I'm going to say umbrella. God damn it. It's umbrella, but if I think about saying the word, I say umbrella because of the hit song.
What are we
Ella,
talking
Ella.
about? Umbrella?
Yeah. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah,
Umbrella.
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 So Adam, you're saying you put the umbrella. You like
If
add a
I
syllable.
think about it for more than half a second, I go, oh yeah, the umbrella, because I'm thinking of the song. And it takes more effort to say it that way. If you're just saying, oh, an umbrella, okay, yeah, you move on with your life. But yeah, now Barbara's in my head.
Why do you ask, Barbara?
Well, I say umbrella like a normal human being,
The
and I
correct
don't
way,
know
yeah.
if this is like a location, it's like specific kind of accent. But every now and then, Trevor will say umbrella.
Trevor's
he
a
al-
freak. Trevor is a lunatic.
Umbrella?
Umbrella, but he always like corrects himself because he'll say it just quickly when we're talking about something, and I'll be like, "What did you say?" And he'll be like,
He adds a schwa.
"Umbrella," but it
Huh.
always comes out a little bit umbrella.
Have they released the haptic suits yet that they had in Ready Player One?
I don't
That
think
you just,
so.
It just vibrates your whole body, but everyone pays for the extra crotch alignment. Weirdos.
How many? What's happening
Gavin's
to Gavin?
I was just waiting until my shit was catching up. Stop.
No, I went through the same thing, man.
Bitch!
No, it's good now. You're good. You're good.
If you
We're
yell,
back.
it works.
Oh.
The internet caught up.
Son of an ass.
In chat over here, Eric is writing hot grapes. I think he means like, would you take $10 if for the rest of your life you could? The only way you could eat grapes is if they were hot.
I don't think people like hot grapes.
Is that a new shirt, or are we having a conversation?
Might be an
I
old
don't
shirt.
think people like hot grapes.
It's not enough room.
I ran into Drew. So what was it last week? I talked about how I ran into someone for the first time from Rooster Teeth out at the grocery store. Well, this past weekend, was it on Friday? I ran into Drew.
We were going to the liquor store, right?
At the liquor store.
We still
walked to the
party on
liquor
the
store.
weekends. Duh. Which I didn't even buy alcohol. It was specs, so I was buying a bunch of like cheese and bullshit.
Finer foods and goods.
Finer foods, yeah.
You
Finer
got
foods.
cheese, you got booze, you got bullshit. They got
Yeah.
everything.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hijack your story here, Gus, but some
it's good.
magic shit happened in that encounter at Specs. First of all, me and Gus have the exact same social, like, graces, I guess
Hide?
you call it. Just like the whole time we saw each other from far away, and both of us kind of went like, I think that's him. And then as we got closer, like, no, it's definitely him. We're definitely going to have to talk. Oh, crap. And then like, we both went, I thought that was you, but nobody has stopped moving the whole time.
Yeah,
we're
just
both
the whole
going
time
into the
still
store.
going.
Yeah, and so I walk in first, and then he's like, "Have you met my wife Esther before?" And I was like, "Yeah, we met at Comic-Con." Still moving, still not stopping, and still maintaining a 6-foot distance in masks the whole time. And then like I'm like now looking over my shoulder, being like, "Yeah, great to see you. Glad you're in person. Hello, how are you?" And then I assume, because I'm going to go buy some Clearly Canadian, again, Finer Foods, delicious beverage. I assume,
Hell yeah.
and it's over in the beer aisle. So I assume now we're going to have to do that really awkward, like super bad thing where we both awkwardly walk to the beer aisle. But then he fucking vanishes and I never see him again. Like I turn around, I'm in the beer aisle. I'm like, clearly he's got to be here. No. And then I had to go buy Finer Foods around the store. Never seen again. I didn't
You
see
know
him
what,
check
Drew?
out.
That happened to me with Gus at a Target once.
I don't know how. Does he have special rich people like
He must
underground
have-
Target?
know.
Is there
Smoke
underground
bombs,
specs?
just like I just dropped.
I was at a Target and I saw, I think, 4 different people from Rooster Teeth that day. This was like probably a year ago at this point. And I saw Gus and Esther there and I was like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then like we were still walking around the same area and I never saw them again. And usually, I don't know, Gus, if you were like, fuck, someone here that we know, I need to like get the fuck out of here so I don't talk to them ever again. But it was so weird. You disappeared.
I think when I ran into you, we were about to leave, if I remember right. It's been a while. That was in the old days before COVID, so I don't remember very well anymore.
In the old
It's been decades since then.
In the before
but
time.
I think we were on our way out at that point. With Drew, what happened was, what I needed was immediately to the right of the store, right by the front door. So it's like we walked in, and then immediately I just went to the right, picked up what I needed, and then left. Paid for it and then left. So that's why I disappeared immediately from Drew's
I
side.
assumed you went to Wines. I assumed you were over in like maybe the liquor aisle. I was like, I'm gonna run into him again at least one more time. No, but it was flashbang gone.
You know how
Just do one thing.
in Zelda, is it Zelda where you could use the rope to just go back to the beginning of a dungeon?
I think so.
You could do it in Pokemon too. But
Yeah.
I reckon Gus has something like that, but he doesn't use it for emergencies, like finding his way out of a cave because he's lost. He just goes to the front of a store if he recognizes an employee within the store.
Gotta go.
Just eject. Yep. Bye.
Time to get the fuck out of here.
I did something fucking dumb last week. I meant to talk about it on the last podcast, but I didn't. I had some groceries in my car, and they were on the front seat of my car. Like I had, we have those reusable bags here in Austin. So I had like a cloth reusable bag filled with groceries in the passenger seat of my car, and I was driving. And as I was driving, I was thinking, oh, I can really smell the pickles from my groceries. That jar of pickles, those pickles smell really good. And I just kept driving, got all the way home, and then went to take my bag of groceries off of the passenger seat. And the pickles had opened and spilled an entire jar of pickle juice everywhere.
No.
Like
all over
the
your
bag was
electric car.
Yeah, the car seat was like a swimming pool of pickle juice. Like I picked up, it was just like dripping, and there was just like a reservoir of pickle juice on the car seat. I was like, fuck. So of course, like I had to do my best to like wipe it all up and dry it all out. But it's pickle. It stinks like vinegar or what, like that brine solution from pickles. So it's like, then I had to like try to Febreze it, and I like tried all these different things. I've been leaving my windows open for days trying to get the smell of pickle juice out of my car. And then like later that day, I went and turned on my car, and then it gave me an error message that the passenger restraint system didn't work anymore because apparently it must have pickle juice all in it. So I got to schedule
juice on your car.
Right, I have to go to the fucking car dealership so they can fix my fucking seatbelts in my car because I spilled
dropping
pickle
your
juice.
iPhone in a pool.
A pill of pickle juice.
What size pickles are we talking here? Like what? How many ounces? Like are we talking like the best made like big girl
like
movie theater pickles? Or are we talking like
no? It's like a plastic tub of pickles. It's those Grillo's pickles. It might have been if I had to guess like 32 ounces of juice. Yeah, it's a lot of juice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else craving pickles right now except me?
No,
they're really good pickles.
I love pickles. I love them.
Me too.
I probably don't want the smell of it wafting in my car at all times, so I don't blame you on that.
It's mostly gone. It's under control at this point. But man, what a fucking nightmare.
So what did it short out the sensor or something, or like damage the electronics somehow?
I think so. The error doesn't come on all the time anymore, so maybe it's finally drying out. But I gotta have them take a look at it. I don't want like the seatbelt. I don't want the safety systems to not work because I spilled fucking pickles in my goddamn car.
now I just want one of those little air freshener, the tree shaped air fresheners, but it's a pickle.
You're also the kind of person who keeps just like full mugs, like from the kitchen and stuff in your car.
I always forget. I bought a new car, Gavin, and I keep it very clean. I had to drive Gavin one time.
But I don't want to shame. I don't want to shame your car because you were kind enough to give me a ride. That was just so funny. I've never seen like non-cardboard cups in a car. They were just like full mugs. It made me. I was cracking up the entire way.
I just went like on my way to work. Back when I was freelance, I would have a cup of coffee from the kitchen and then get to work and I'd throw it on the floor. And then so Gavin goes to get in my car and there's like 9 or 10 like ceramic mugs just like
9 or 10.
What the hell?
I was like, surely they're all gonna get all chipped and stuff while using mugs.
Yeah, they roll around back there. How did they not get chipped?
I don't know. They just never did.
It was so funny to me. I think it was like a 10-minute car journey, and I was cracking up for like at least half of it. It was
just because
so
every
funny.
time we take a turn, you see like.
I was thinking like 1 or 2. I didn't realize it was that many.
Oh, it was a lot. And I've gotten better. I've got a new car, so I like make sure that no mugs are in the car. And
Man, remember when we could get in each other's cars and stuff?
Hey, remember that?
That's cool.
Back in the old days.
Yeah.
We have a little game. You're mad.
Oh, Gavin, do you want to be mad about something, even though you said you weren't?
I'm actually. Hold on. I need to find my beat button. Why the is Skype on all my computers? All of a sudden, I gotta go around and uninstall Skype off them. Damn it! And
No, you needed to beep that. Damn it.
it.
There you go,
Dude, how do you do that?
I need to know how you do
a
that.
beat button.
It's just I got a little mixer thing with a bleep button. Also, yeah, that's a first world problem, isn't it? But yeah, they just put Skype on all the Windows computers, I guess.
Why does that bother you so much, Gav?
Well, I don't use it. Even though as an ex-spokesperson for Skype.
Hello, Gavin. Hi.
Don't use it because who has used Skype in the last 5 years? That's what I want to know.
I had to use it. I had to do an outside production. I had to like have a remote call with some people to film something a couple of weeks ago. And now the annoying thing for me is now that it forced Skype onto my computer, it also launches it every time my computer starts. And there's like, we had this group call from a few weeks ago when we filmed this thing. And now every time it launches, it's like, you have X unread messages in your group chat. I was like, I don't care about that anymore. It's for a thing I filmed. It's done. Like I had to go in to like the Windows settings and stop it from launching at boot because every time my computer booted, it was like, "Hey, you have these unread Skype messages." Like I don't give a. Those messages aren't for me. I don't give a fuck about them.
I would say it's ballsy in this day and age to install something on everyone's computer and launch it on startup without any mention of it at any point.
It launches at startup. I'm sorry. I
didn't launch.
Understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't like come up in front, but it's down there in the taskbar. I damn see it. I'm looking at it right now. And one of the things I also liked was the enemies talking about each other. Like if one of them dies, they'll be like, "Ah, shit, Pete's dead," and it actually is like it feels more real that way because
Like they come and check on people and like.
Yeah, like you feel like they know each other. But in the last bit of the game, I was just crafting explosive arrows left and right, and I was just like, and I just hit. I hit some dude like right in the chest. His upper half just blew up, like dripping off the ceiling, and it was just 2 legs. And then someone came around and went, "Shit, they got Pete," and I was like, "There's no way you know that's Pete right now. You can
Those are Pete's favorite pants.
Those are Pete's boots," and it was cracking me up as his bits were just dripping off the ceiling.
Guess what, Gavin?
What?
I played my first multiplayer Factorio game today. Some people were filming earlier today, and John and I wanted to film a video game Let's Play, and we were like, "Oh, let's try out Factorio multiplayer."
You did it with John?
I did it with John Reisinger. We filmed it.
With John Reisinger? Instead of me? Son of a...
The delay!
You gotta reach really far to the button.
I would love people listening to this podcast or watching it later on YouTube being like, "Oh, they're bleeping the podcast now."
Nah, we already got that Let's Plays where I'm just bleeping myself, and everyone's like, "What the?" And the editor has to write. That's not me.
You looking for the button is my favorite part of that.
Yeah,
Son
I'm
of
like
a...
reaching.
There it is. Great.
Bitch.
I'll be honest. I'm like 9 out of 10 podcast mad, and like 3 out of 10 really mad that I was not involved in this.
Let's do it.
I would be
Yeah,
offended
let's
if
do
I
it.
were you.
Let's do it just like how we watched Crystal Palace play.
Oh my god!
That day.
Are you living in the past, or are we going to talk about something fun
the
we can
past,
do?
It's. I've sat on my ass for 100 straight days. All I can do is live in the past, Gus.
Gavin,
All right, let's play Factorio.
my family does a weekly call, like a Zoom call with everybody, and I've missed a couple of them because it's always the same. Like
your family.
It's not just like me, my parents, and my brothers. It's like my entire extended family. So it's like my cousins and my aunts and uncles.
So how do you get away with not going to them because you're not busy?
Well,
Assume it's at the weekend.
I am and I am not, because while the weekends I used to actually relax, like I don't necessarily want to be in front of a webcam talking. Like it's not.
Yeah.
So that's what
screening.
That's what I've dealt with, where it's like everyone knows I'm not busy, but talking to a bunch of people at once or talking to family for hours, that's not relaxing.
Yeah.
So you
Gavin,
then have to say like, yeah.
Just tell them you uninstall Skype from your computer.
We use Zoom, Gus. Zoom.
No, I don't mean to say that you're not busy, work-wise, because I know that you and Trevor are both utterly annihilated with Rooster Teeth work. But in terms of, at conventions and stuff is what I meant. Here's what you do. 2 birds with 1 stone. Combine your next family Zoom call with the Rooster Teeth podcast.
The Dunkelman
both
podcast.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Hello, Dunkelman family. Yes, things in Austin are not great. I wish I could come back to Canada. I miss you guys. I love you. Wow, look how big those kids are getting.
Hey, Eric, can you get this done? Can we get a Dunkelmania podcast next week?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I mean, we'll see if they're too busy or not for their daughter, but I'll put a feeler out.
I still talk to my parents during the week. It's just the extended family I don't necessarily call in every single time.
Hey, Eric, can we get a graphic made for the Dunkelman family chat?
Yeah, I'll definitely get a graphic made for that. Yep.
Thanks, Eric.
Someone was it? Someone in chat, who's it? Hodgelet said we call it the Dunk Tank.
Oh man, we have too many good names for that. We have to do this now. There's too many good
names.
names.
We need unique graphics packages for every name.
Okay.
Intros, outros, chirons, lower thirds, crawls. RTTV is sponsored by ExpressVPN. You can protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/RTTV. Thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring RTTV, which you're watching. And I'm just repeating myself right now. RTTV, ExpressVPN. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Blaine. I'm
Barbara.
And I'm Gus. Hello, friends. How's everyone doing today?
I like that you don't say hello to us before you say hello to ExpressVPN. It's a bit rude.
Well, they're paying me. You aren't.
Yeah, but we've known each other for years.
if you want to Apple Pay me something right now, we can redo the intro.
Gus, if I Apple paid you 20 cents, would you introduce me first next time?
20 cents. Oh, Gavin, how much for you to be introduced first?
A whole $1.
Oh, what do you got there for that, Barbara?
$1.01.
Guys,
I want to throw my bid in. I'll move your refrigerator and vacuum behind it.
Yo, that's priceless.
Well, why do you offer that? Did you have to move your fridge and vacuum? That's a weird offer to make.
I know, but it's something I'm uniquely qualified in this group for.
A few months ago, before work from home and everything, I was doing some what do you call it, yard work. I wanted to get a big rock to put in my yard, and let me tell you, I vastly underestimated how heavy rocks are. There's a place you can go to where you can buy big rocks. They call them boulders, but I'm remiss to call them boulders because it's only like this big, maybe.
It's like a baby boulder.
What is that? 3.5 feet tall, maybe. So I go down there and I'm looking around this place and they have a bunch of rocks like this. I'm like, that's the one I want. And so I go into the office and I'm like, hey, how does this work if I want to buy one of the rocks out there? Do I bring it to you or do I put it in my car? How does that work? And you looked at me like I was the stupidest person in the world. And I realized why, because he's like, no, we have someone with a forklift who goes and picks it up for you. They'll weigh it and then they'll load it for you. I was like, oh, okay. In my head, I was like, how much does a rock weigh? I don't know. The fucking rock weighs 600 pounds.
Dude.
So then I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to put that in my car. I mean, I could have, but so I was like, okay, y'all deliver? He's like, yeah, it's like $20 to deliver it. I was like, oh, for a 600-pound rock? That's a steal. I was like, yeah, $20, I'll pay that. It's like, all right, we'll deliver it. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they're going to send a guy with a forklift again. It's going to be like a whole deal. It's going to be like a team of guys who are going to pick it up and put it where I want. It's one guy who shows up and he's got like a pickup truck with a trailer and the rock is in the back. And I'm like, how are you?
Dwayne Johnson?
I'm like, how are you going to get that off of there? He's like, oh, I'm just going to roll it off into the street right here. I'm like, but I don't need it in the street. I need it over there. And it's like much further away. He's like,
yeah.
Oh, well, you can move it. I'm like, well, no, I can't. So he unloads the rock and it's just like on the curb in front of my house. And it sat there for like a week and I kept trying different things to move it. I would like try to roll it end over end and I just couldn't do it. It was like, because I couldn't get it up on the curb. I was like, I bought this thing off of Amazon that supposedly helps you lift like appliances and stuff, but because it's like an irregular shape, it didn't work.
So you're out there with this like apparatus trying to attach it to a rock.
An exosuit.
They didn't end up helping you move it to where you needed it to go?
No, he left it there. It was there for like a week and a half, and eventually, like my brother-in-law came over, and I was like, "Listen, we got to move this rock from here, like all the way over there." And I was like, "Don't hurt yourself. You know, if it's too heavy, let me know. I'll see if we can invite more people over. We'll figure something out." But yeah, he helped me, and we moved it, and it was the dumbest, heaviest thing I've ever had to lift in my life. Rocks are fucking heavy. It wasn't that big, but it was 600 pounds.
I have to give Dutch these like fish oil pills because his like ass juices will spray out if I don't. It's really weird and they smell awful, but it's better than the smell of his ass juices shooting onto my couch. It's the worst.
Have you ever had to like milk his gland?
I refuse. Like, I had to like basically like grab his dick and inject a syringe filled with medicine into it.
I forgot.
I draw the line at fingering my dog's asshole, bro. I can't do it.
He might be into it though.
You what?
He might be into it. He might really like it. He might appreciate it if you do it.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
No, we'll see you guys next week.
Jim
Bye.
Jebpiece, Master Chief. Bye.
Boy.